Good evening, everyone. Can I hear a good evening from everyone else?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Great.
Good evening.
Now I feel there is energy in the group. Right. So I think Joel had rightly explained the agenda of this NLP study group. So this we want to focus on connecting our own community, connecting people in our own community, to focus on the to stay in touch with the subject basically, and also a platform where we could share our ideas, our experiences, and mainly our challenges with the subject. Yeah. So and the schedule for today. Initially, it would be, the modeling would be explained by Aditya. He would give a brief about what a modeling is, what are the phases of modeling, and then he would also explain you about the case study, which is on a 6 a.m. club. Post that, we would have Riaz, who would conduct an exercise on the modeling with all the group members, and later, for 10 minutes, we would have send you to a breakout room so that you could practice the modeling tool. And after we are back, so you have a forum to ask questions as well, right? So if you have any challenges, you face challenges while implementing this tool, so please come forward and ask your questions. So as I told you, this is a study group. No one is an expert here. Basically, we are together to study, right? So if in case you have any questions, please feel free to ask us anytime. Do not hesitate. Okay, to introduce our speaker for today. Okay, so the speaker for today is Aditya Panda. He is a graduate from Delhi University. He is into cycling. He has cycled for around 600 kilometers in less than 40 minutes, and he has done it twice. He's also into trekking and running as well. NLP came as an accident to him. He had never thought he would get into such course, but it came as an accident to him in 2020. And in 2021, he has started a community called a 6 a.m. Club, which he's going to talk to us about today. And we also have Riaz Mullah with us, who will be supervising the entire session for today. Riaz is he takes care of the leadership training training and talent development in Tech Mahindra. He is a student of NLP, Gestalt, and everything to do with what makes life beautiful. He is also an author for a book called Lockdown Lessons. Through this book, he has shared an insight on the miracles that happened during lockdown to him. I think I would hand over the stage to Aditya. So he would take us through in detail about modeling, and then probably we'll proceed further with that. Aditya, over to you.
Lovely. Thank you, sweetie. Hi, people. I'm, really grateful for this opportunity. We have this small cohort here that has gathered together to, learn from each other and learn from different perspectives. Really appreciate that. And when Sweetie called me and, asked me to take up the first session, at first I started laughing, right? I thought that why is she asking a 24-year-old kid who has nothing to do with psychology or NLP to conduct the session? But I thought that this is something that is totally out of my comfort zone, and that is exactly the reason why I should take it up, right? So I did not say no. I'm really grateful for Sweetie, for Riaz, for mentoring me and helping me, prepare what I'm going to present today. So let's start. I'm going to share my screen. Please give me a thumbs up or give me a, some kind of notification that you're able to see what I'm sharing. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so my journey with modeling started very similarly to, what people have already shared. We start modeling unconsciously when we are small. I found a beautiful piece in our NLP basic practitioner's manual that kind of illustrated modeling, very well. Okay. How we live can also be how we learn. As we as humans never realize it, but learning is like breathing. New info constantly travels through our head, similar to how air travels through our lungs. We learn in many ways, but we never know it. Some learn physically by doing, others learn mentally by thinking. you may find yourself enriching your mind by your surrounding, right? And it's a long piece. I kind of pick out this prose and have put it here because it sets a very good context for what I'm going to talk about later on. To here I'm modeling somebody we know, starting the session with setting an intention. My intention from this session is to understand modeling better by discussing and sharing my views with all the people here. So I really want this to be a very interactive session where you are asking me questions, and I would be, it would be great if you ask me questions that I don't know, don't have an answer to, so that I am, I go back and probably I take somebody else comes and helps me understand what's going on. Okay, so before going to what is modeling or how to model, let's look at why do we need to model, right? And these are a few things that I could come up with. We all of us want to improve, and we want to reach from our current state to our desired state, and modeling can be one of the tools to do that. At the same time, modeling is something that can help us accelerate our process of growth and get effective results. Slowly we'll move into it and see how we can use the whole tool in different ways to reach to get that effectiveness, to reach our desired state, or to reach the desired behavior. NLP modeling is assumes that we can model any human behavior by mastering the beliefs, the physiology, and the internal thought processes that underlie a skill or behavior. In simple words, if I want to, replicate the way Anil speaks or Anil presents himself, I would want to understand how Anil moves, how he talks, his posture, his tone. I would also want to understand what are his thought processes when he is delivering a speech, right? What does he tell himself before a speech? What does he tell himself during a speech? What does he tell himself when he does not know the answer? And these are the things, if I am completely able to understand his beliefs, the way he is speaking physically, and his thought processes or his subconscious thoughts behind his head when he's speaking, I would be exactly able to replicate, or maybe replicate Anil's mode of speech. That is NLP modeling. Before modeling, modeling, you guys would have seen from the material that had been sent. It started from phase 1. Let's take a step back and start from phase 0, right? Before modeling, it is super important for us to understand what we are trying to model, right? Because unconsciously we are modeling whether we want it or not, right? And if we are unconsciously modeling, it might have pros, it might have cons as well. So it's very important for us to have clarity and define, okay, this is the behavior I want to model. Otherwise, we might end up modeling the person with their positive and their negatives. Second thing is choosing a particular genius, or choosing a model from whom we are, we want to model a desired behavior. So here are a few things that we can keep in mind. So because modeling is an intricate process in which a lot depends on whether we are able to talk to this person and come to know about his internal beliefs. So if we need extensive data, or we need extensive access to that person to be able to have those one-on-one deep conversations and have those, have that opportunity to ask those questions, because at sometimes that person also might not know or might not have thought about why he is doing a particular behavior, right? So when you're choosing a model, it's great to look at somebody on whom extensive data is available, or next somebody whom you can, who is nearby and whom you can actually have a conversation with. Moving forward, now we're going into phase 1, or observe. So it has 3 subpoints. First is what. What is basically the physical part, right? We are looking at what a person is doing through all our 5 senses. We are hearing what he's telling, we are seeing what he's doing, we're kind of understanding how that person is making us feel, and all the NLP practitioners know what all our 5 senses are. That's what step 1 is. Step 2 is a bit more complicated. Now, this does not just involve looking at the person or looking at his behavior, but also understanding what is going on in their head. This is where things get a bit tricky, right? And then the third step is understanding their supporting beliefs and assumptions. Understanding, somebody taught me today morning that this is about us understanding the map of the other person, the map that they have, and how can we understand, okay, what is their map and how are they able to reach that desired behavior through, we have to look at the world through their eyes. And next, we are moving to phase 2. Phase 2 is all about finding the differences. So once we know, okay, this is what the person is doing, and these are the 10 things that the person is doing, we don't, and then we have to, a desired behavior is, let's say a desired behavior is waking up early in the morning, right? That person might have an excellent alarm. That person might be switching off their phone at 10 p.m. at the night. That person might not have, might have family members who have a perfect bedtime routine and would be going off to sleep at before 10 p.m. There are several things or several factors that are in a person's life that could lead to a desired behavior. Our goal is to understand which factor or what are the differences that are actually making the differences and leading to that particular behavior. Phase 3 is the most tricky part. In phase 3, we are looking at designing a method, or this is where the rehearsal comes in. This is where we actually, we might be excellent NLP practitioners. We might know exactly what a person is thinking or psychoanalyze that person and understand kya chal raha hai uske dimag mein. But when it comes to us sitting down and putting in that time and rehearsing and consciously putting in that effort, and like somebody said, doing modeling in the clinical sense, right? This is that part, and this is difficult. I have never done it yet, right? And now I'm going to tell you guys about the 6 a.m. club.
Before we go to 6 a.m. club, Aditya, if you can just open the floor, if anybody has questions on, so what you saw so far was the concept or the theory of the concept. So before we get into the 6 a.m. club, which is a beautiful elicitation of how some of these concepts were put in something like this. But any questions on the concept so far? I know Anita asked a question and I modeled Anil over there. That's exactly the answer Anil would have given. So that was modeling a language pattern. But any other questions? Any questions we can take now, and then we can get into the case study. It's a beautiful case study.
Sure, yes.
Or if there are no questions, it's all clear, then we can probably start. It doesn't seem to be any questions. Or you can put in the chat window if there are no questions. Just put no there and we'll go ahead.
Yeah, and like Riya said, during the case study, it would be lovely if there are insights that are coming to your mind, just put them on the chat box that we as a community can go through the insights again and maybe learn something from them. Before explaining what the 6 a.m. club is, I want to understand. I want to know, by you can raise your hands. Have people seen that 1-minute video that was shared on that WhatsApp group in which people were running, jumping, I don't know what, right? People have seen that. So that provides me some context to work on the 6 a.m. club. Okay, thank you. So 6 a.m. club is an invite-only wellness community that incorporates into its design and operation, that incorporates modeling into its design and operations to help its members lead a better life. Did I consciously build it that way? No, it happened unconsciously. Slowly, and midway, I consciously realized, okay, I'm actually using NLP techniques that I had learned back in 2020 that were always on the back of my mind. And I'm using them to design the structure and the rituals of my community. And once I got conscious about it, then I started, using them more often and looking at, okay, how can I install an anchor, thinking about how people are modeling, so on and so forth. So to describe what 6 a.m. club does to its members, we handpick passionate people who are passionate about improving, and then design experiences and environments to help them reach their goals. So the two important takeaways are handpick passionate people, right? And then designing the experiences and the environments. Moving forward, I would I'm sharing some brief about the 6 a.m. club. That is, so people are able to understand how we are doing what we are doing and provide some context. So 6 a.m. club has been built on 3 pillars: consistency, community, and well-being. Consistency is, how do you develop consistency? If you have to wake up early in the morning or get into an exercise routine or whatever your goal is, you need to be consistent in order to reach your goal. And that is the secret sauce for success. It is no secret, but if somebody is able to implement it, consistency leads to compounding, which leads to amazing results. Next is community. Community is the example of community is what we are doing right now, getting together as NLP practitioners and learning something. One thing I learned from my NLP experience was that community, the growth you get from a community is not linear, it is exponential. You never know suddenly how the community is going to benefit you. It's not going to benefit you in a very predictable way. Then comes well-being. So to explain well-being, I have this small circle where there's, the 6 aspects of well-being are kind of mentioned. So we try to impact the lives of our members by looking at these 6 aspects. We look at how can we improve their emotional health. We look at how can we improve their intellectual health by helping them, develop a love for learning. We look at how can we help them have a regular exercise routine. How can we have them, occupy good environmental spaces, be in nature, get that sunlight. How can they surround themselves with good people, right? How can we surround themselves with good people, good social connections, so that it adds value and happiness to their life. Lastly, spiritual is all about purpose. We are trying to give them a purpose that will help them, help other people go forward. So anybody who is joining a member is kind of promising that, okay, I'm doing it for myself, but I'm also doing it because me showing up for a session is also helping other people show up for a session. You're doing it for yourself, but you have a greater purpose behind it. Now let's look at how a usual week at the 6 a.m. club looks like. This is the week for this week. This is this week. So on Monday, we did a virtual exercise session at 6 a.m. in the morning. On Tuesday, we were dancing at 8 p.m. On Wednesday, all of us got together for a deep work session where each of us were kind of doing all our work. I was reading this book. Somebody was completing their assignments. On Thursday, we did something called animal flow. None of the community people have had tried animal flow ever, or maybe some of them have not heard the name before. But we just put it there so that the community learns, does something different and activates different neural pathways that come when we are learning something new. And then we have the sharing circle, where we come together and discuss the thoughts and opinions that we have about particular topics. This is the place where people share their internal thoughts. This is the place where people share their insights, their beliefs, their assumptions, that kind of lead to a particular behavior. And then there's today morning, I was cycling at 6 a.m. and I have a deep work session at 8 p.m. Tomorrow we are going for kayaking. Tomorrow we are going and kayaking, and in the middle of the river, we are going to do a beach workout. So how it looks all fun, it looks a lot of physical, but how is this helping people? How is this helping people, and where is modeling coming in, right? So now I'm going to distill modeling and slowly try to, connect our structure and then connect it to the phases of modeling and how our community members are able to model each other to get, to lead better lives, to improve. I just want to take 1 minute to share a testimonial of a community member so that, you realize they are better able to express what they have gone through. Ritika from the 6 a.m. club.
My journey with the 6 a.m. club started in the month of September. I joined just to make new friends and explore myself. I had no such fitness objective in life. Before joining 6 a.m., I was not into any kind of sports or physical activities as I was very underconfident and I underestimated myself. But after joining 6 a.m., I started doing HIIT workouts and playing football. That's just because the community members motivated me, and today I enjoy working out. This wouldn't have happened without the 6 a.m. club. I would never have explored this side of me because I would have never even tried working out. And today 6 a.m. has become a part of my lifestyle.
So let's move on and let's understand how did Ritika go through the whole process, right? When Ritika joined, she was somebody who was an introvert, does not talk much, did not know how to run. Basically, I saw her for the first time. I asked her to run for the first time, and it felt like she was jumping in a funny manner. So that was where she started. And today she is giving competition to guys during workouts. That is what she's doing. She's completing workouts before guys who have been playing, or have been physically active all their lives. How is all this happening? At 6 a.m. Club, we're basically designing an environment in which people get out of their comfort zones. That's number one, taking people out of their comfort zone. Everybody has a comfort zone. Athletes are not people who are, good at vocalizing their thoughts or talking about how they feel, right? So their EQ is less. But when they are getting into a sharing circle and they have to open their mouth and speak, they're not in their comfort zone. People like Ritika, who are great at painting, who are great at dancing, are totally uncomfortable cycling or totally uncomfortable running. And that is something that is out of their comfort zone. There is somebody who is 30-year-old, a mother of a 5-year-old kid. She had never cycled in her life. We taught her how to cycle and she completed 50 kilometers. And the cycling is not important, right? What she realized from cycling was, I can do something different, and I am more than. She defined herself as a mother before. Every action that she took was for her kid, and she was like, my life is my kid, my 4-year-old kid whom I have to nurture. But it was not helping her mentally. She was, during the lockdown with her kid and stuck at home with all the responsibilities of her in-laws. She was not mentally happy, and she was not in a good state. Just by cycling with other people, she realized that, okay, I can still discover myself. There's a different side to me that is left to be explored. And now, yes, she's taking care of her kid, but this is a reason, right? And I'd asked her, why are you joining the 6 a.m. club? She tells me that I'm doing it for Pihu, her kid, because if I am a happier mother, I would be able to be a better mother. So 6 a.m. club is helping me be happier. I'm still doing it for my kid, but I'm doing 6 a.m. for my kid, and her kid also joins our sessions. So let's get into the modeling aspect and understand kaise ho raha hai. For modeling, we need intention, right? We need people want to improve. That is phase 0, that you want to improve. Why you model? So 6 a.m. clubs, the communication is, we are the 6 a.m. club, we inspire people to live better. If you're somebody who wants to improve their lifestyle, join us. So only people who are interested about holistically improving their lifestyle will contact us, right? Bahar se dusre log who are not into improving, automatically those people are filtered out and the intention is set. Then we're looking at desired behavior. So the desired behavior in the community is already kind of preset from what we have as community rituals. At 6 a.m., you could guess by the name that, yeah, we are waking up early to join a session at 6 a.m. So that is one keystone habit. The second keystone habit is regular exercise. The third keystone habit is commitment to learning, mindfulness, journaling. These are certain rituals that all the members of the 6 a.m. club have to follow to be a part of the community. And through this process, automatically, the 6 aspects of wellness is somewhat being covered, or somewhat we're trying to target all 6 aspects of wellness through that. Now, for modeling to happen successfully, one thing we need is great models, people who can inspire us, or people from whom we can learn the desired behavior. That part is taken care of when we have when we are handpicking people. So it's an invite-only community. A person to join 6 a.m. club has to fill out a long application in which उनको पूछा जाता है what are your goals in life, what do you mean by living better, why do you want to join a club. It's like a interview, it's like a college application that they have to fill out. It's extensive, takes 15-20 minutes. Only a person who is willing to put in that effort fills that document. And after that also we have the second criteria. Second criteria is, okay, you say that you want to do all of that, but are you actually going to do all of that? So for 15 days, we let them attend these sessions and see how regularly they are waking up. See how regularly they are following the rituals of the community. Once we are satisfied that this person is putting enough effort and is, deserves to be a good model for other people, only then we onboard him as a community member. So that is how we are in this curated environment. We have this. That is how we are putting good models that people can apply the modeling technique on. Next is phase 1. So phase 1, when we're looking at observing, in order to observe, you need that regular interaction with them. Daily basis पे उनको देखोगे तभी तो observe कर पाओगे. So we are doing 33 sessions per month. Every single day, some or the other community member are interacting with each other, looking at each other, whether it's through a workout, whether it is somebody, is posting a picture that what they are doing in the morning at a WhatsApp group. There are various forms of interaction, but at the same time, they're able to observe that what is going on in the lives of their prospective models, right? And what each model is doing different. This is a बहुत option दिया है to observe and learn from people. And the context is also said that you want to improve, we're giving you an opportunity to learn from people. And we also tell that beforehand, that this is how you're going to learn. ऐसा नहीं है कि I will teach you how to wake up early. You have to wake up early. We are providing a supportive environment to do that. Second is how is the, okay, observation to ho gaya, khel kood kar liya. But how do you get to know those internal strategies that somebody is applying through, that interaction? So for that specific aspect, we have designed sessions such as the doodling and the sharing circles. In a sharing circle, sharing circle happens on Thursdays. And last Thursday, our topic was addiction, right? And somebody who has a desired behavior of regular exercise confess that I am addicted to exercise, and if I don't exercise in the day, I'm irritated. So I need that sweat out of my body to feel better. It's not that I'm motivated to exercise or I have that internal motivation with me. If I don't exercise, it leads to irritation. So to avoid irritation, I'm exercising. So this is an internal thought pattern that somebody is able to share through a sharing circle, and this is how people are able to know. This was just one example. There are several other examples of how somebody is reading 40 books a year, how somebody is journaling every single day, how somebody is able to wake up at 4 a.m. every single day. So, and they share their thought patterns, they share their behaviors, they share their rituals with the broader community to learn from. What I learned recently is I used to wake up early, then go back to sleep at 8 a.m. after giving a session. Thoda ek ghanta so jata tha. But that was something I wanted to improve on. Somebody told me, if you take a shower just after the session, these are small things, right? But this matter a lot when you put them into context. So I started modeling that girl who took an early shower in the day. And now I'm, slightly better at improving myself. Now, when we come to why, right? And understanding the supporting beliefs and the assumptions. So this is where things get a bit tricky, and Riaz actually helped me understand this aspect better today morning. He told me, in order to, the goal of modeling is to change, right? Change a particular behavior and improve. In order to improve, we have to change our supporting beliefs and assumptions that we have in our mind and place new assumptions or new beliefs, instill new beliefs that will help us go to the desired behavior. Now, somebody might do this, right? We might be able to change our assumptions or beliefs by trying, or maybe we can be put into an experience that shatters our beliefs, right? Or changes our beliefs. For example, you could see like Ritika. Ritika, was picked, her belief did not change. She was picked from one environment, put in another environment, and she's like, okay, if I can play football with guys, if I can play football with a guys football team, which I earlier did not think of, ho ja raha hai. Matlab, maybe I'm playing bad, but the belief changed on her map that I can work out, right? Nobody will judge me if I'm working out in front of them. So that is how their maps are changing when they're, put into situations that are out of their comfort zone. Somebody who is not ready to talk, I'm purposefully giving them an opportunity to conduct a session, become a leader, right? Speak in front of people. There, and everybody is appreciating. Nobody is telling ki, "Oye, tumne kharab bola, kuch kiya." So their beliefs are changing that, okay, people will not look down on me if I fumble when I'm talking. Then we're moving to phase 2 and finding the differences. So, like I said, right, you could reach a desired behavior by different methods, many methods. Maybe waking up early, somebody's, there are different methods to wake up early. There are different methods to exercise regularly. Every community members has a unique method to do it. And so our goal is simply to populate the community with good models and design an environment where they're able to share their internal beliefs. Then somebody who wants to learn are automatically exposed to different successful behavior patterns. They exactly know, they can relate. So if somebody, somebody is living with their parents and their lifestyle is, that everybody's sleeping at 12 a.m. at the night, and and their model's condition is different. Their model has a very good environment and sab log 10 baje so ja rahe hain. They can't relate to the model. Even if they want to wake up early, they can't directly apply that behavior because the situation relate nahi kar raha hai. So in that situation, somebody can just pick another model with whom their situation is more relatable and apply the strategies that they are adopting, right? In order to understand how do I do it. So people are just starting to work out, like the lady I talked about who has a kid, and people like Ritika, they relate to each other. People, athletes will relate to each other when they're asked to talk. Introverts relate to each other when they're asked to give a presentation. People who never wake up early relate to each other when they are able to wake up early. Everybody is, doing something with their struggles. I'm just coming to the end of my presentation. So when you give people several models that they can, several ways that they can achieve, understand about the differences, they will find they're themselves finding the differences that are leading to a successful behavior. And then they are themselves adopting that. Now, third phase is designing a method to teach ourselves the successful behavior, or this deals with implementation or the rehearsal. A lot of this implementation happens, consciously and unconsciously, both, right? So somebody is consciously trying to wake up and they are trying to understand, okay, these are the thought patterns, these are the strategies. Now I'm put in an environment, now I have the social pressure to wake up early, and now they are consciously waking up. But at the same time, a lot of people are also doing a few things unconsciously. So somebody stopped smoking, right? Somebody stopped smoking and they said, I joined the community to exercise. I never thought I would stop smoking, but I don't know how. I don't smoke on my own right now. I just smoke in social situations. People automatically have started looking at, researching about how do I eat better. Never did I tell them to eat better. So they're just automatically modeling the habits of other community members that they're looking at in front of them. And that is, they're subconsciously modeling that, and it is kind of helping them lead a better life. So how 6 a.m. is helping in the third phase is we are giving people the opportunity to interact with the models on a very consistent basis and on a one-to-one basis. So it's a design, you can call it this design of 6 a.m. or you can call it the culture that we have consciously tried to build within 6 a.m. that is leading to this. Here's my question to all of you, right? If people are able to improve by just changing the people around them, or consciously getting into an environment which is curated, a lot of the kids, they don't know what modeling is. They've never studied NLP, but they're still benefiting. If they're able to do all this unconsciously or semi-consciously, what is possible when they actually understand modeling? That's my question to you people. That's the end of my presentation as well. I'm open to insights and questions.
Aditya, can you please repeat the question?
Sure. So my question is, you could share your insights from the case study. You could ask me questions, or you could say, or maybe one thing that I wanted people to take away from the case study is, rather than looking at modeling as an individual behavior or an individual activity that we have to do in isolation, why not look at modeling as something that we can do as a community? And why not design an environment in which we are better able to model people and behaviors? Just look at modeling differently. You could share the questions that you have on the case study or your insights that you have got from this.
I think Dr.
So
Kalpa
Aditya,
has raised a...
yeah, I wanted to ask something. So I wanted to ask, like, how do we know more about the beliefs that the person is working on? So right now, when I was going through the case study, and I was trying to apply it to my life, like I already thought of some models, but I don't know what is the belief that they are having on. So, I mean, do we talk to those people, or is there any other way? And sometimes those models are not even the kind of ones whom we could, really even talk to. So from where do we pick up these beliefs that they are having about themselves?
First, I would say we have to talk to them, right? And if it is a model that we are not able to talk to, maybe we have to ask ourselves a question that, can I find a better model? Or can I find 2-3 models who are doing the same behavior and try to pick out things from each of them?
So if I may just add to that, Aditya, is, and since we are in the NLP community, this is where you use the meta model, okay, to understand. So meta model can also be very useful in terms of trying to understand the beliefs. One is the meta model, second is language pattern, especially when you look at the generalizations that the person has in their speech. That will also give you an idea of what are the belief systems from which they are operating. I hope that gives you some answers.
So basically, here I was looking at models who are like celebrities or something like that. And talking to them would not be really possible. But yes, probably there is so much information available on them. From there, it can be picked up, or from their interviews where they speak or something like that, I think they can be picked up.
So one of the things that, especially when applying model, is how do you choose a model? And when we get into the process, okay, choosing your model is very important. And what kind of data or information that you have about the model, and what kind of access that you have. Okay, if I am modeling a celebrity, I would also be pretty mindful of what they say consciously in public, because many times that is tailored and customized. Okay, so how much access I have to a model is very important, and what I'm modeling about that, and how much information I have about the model is going to be very important. And knowing what you want to model and finding out somebody in your ecosystem who is good at doing that. So if you're picking up a celebrity, which is also fine as long as you have access to the yields, knowing what behavior you want to model, and do you have somebody in the ecosystem with whom, because all of us in that sense are genius or are good at something. Okay, and that's why that access is important in knowing and picking that element, knowing what to model and what not to model is a very, very important aspect of modeling. So when, for example, if I take an example of when Bandler and Grinder were modeling Erickson. So they generally build NLP modeling Milton Erickson, Virginia Satir, and Fritz Perls. So they say that Milton Erickson had he had his work area and his house area separate. Okay, and his house work area was at perpendicular to his house area, but it was attached, but it was separate. And when he wanted to work, he would always go to his workspace and work there, and then he would be back home. And they were very keen that they wanted to model his work. They didn't want to model his family and family aspects, because they felt there were certain things where they did not agree upon, and they only wanted to model the work. So they will only be at the workspace and model that. So being clear about what you want to model, even from your model, what behavior you want to model and what you want to improve. What Aditya said at the beginning, that is very important.
Thank you, Riaz. This is like really insightful. Thank you so much. I got so much from this.
Thanks.
Yeah, Aditya, I think you have a question from Aditi Joshi. I'm so impressed at the second step filter you created to keep the timber of your community. What inspired that?
So the two-step filter, one of the cornerstones of 6 a.m. is consistency. And consistency, I realized that if I have to build a strong community, people have to show up, right? If people are not showing up, initially the quality of the 6 a.m. ka product or the service, the product are the people. The product is not the HIIT or the running, cycling, nahi. It is the people. And if I have to build a great product, I have to get great people. So I have to be super conscious about who I'm letting in inside the community. In my past experience, I'd learned that there are people who are great talkers, who would be, who are, बहुत inspiring बातें करेंगे. But when it comes to work, they're like, I'm busy with this, I'm busy with that. They'll not actually show up. So I wanted to do something ki nahi, your actions speak louder than words, and you only if you show up, you're in. If you don't talk, if you're an introvert, that's also fine. But if you show up, that's enough for us. That inspired the two-step process.
Thank you, Aditya. It's really inspiring, this entire process, what you've curated, and the thought behind every tiny element it's just blown me away. An entire experiential thing which resolves so many things at one shot and taps into community. Just blown away. Thank you.
Really grateful for that. Thank you.
Any more questions?
May I, sweetie?
Yes.
Aditya, one little thing I was curious about knowing is that when people come into your 6 a.m. community, you have a timetable or things set. Okay, these are the things you're expected to do. So instead of they telling we want to model this particular thing, you are laying forward a buffet for them. This is what we expect you to do. So फिर ये ऐसे नहीं होता है कि you are setting goals for them?
So our goals are predefined, right? That is waking up early, consistently exercising. Agar logon ka goals are matching with our goals, right? Or the community goals, then we are benefiting those members, right? So we're trying to help particular people who are trying to reach the community goals.
So like, how would I know ki like in your community, if I'm a part of it, it is like कि आदित्य का set किए हुए goals है जिसपे we are functioning. So ऐसे नहीं होता है कि हमारे अपने goals get lost and we just look forward for somebody else to do it for us.
That's definitely one way of looking at it, right? And so before, when somebody has to fill an application for the 6 a.m. club, what happens is we just ask them, what are your goals, right? And then understand whether that person is a good fit. If that person is saying that my primary goal is to become financially independent, it does not relate to how the community is directly benefiting to it. So we ask again pointed question that, okay, we understand that you want to join the community, but your goals are not directly in sync with what we are providing. So are you sure whether 6 a.m. is the best place for you? And would you, so we have those conversations in the initial filtering. If somebody is thinking that I want to have a structure of my life, I want to socialize with people who are like-minded. If somebody is telling I want that routine in my life, I really want to exercise regularly because I think that will help me feel better and be a better person, that will add value to my life. I am telling, hey man, we are there to help you.
One more little thing, Aditya, is that you said you monitor them or you look at them for the first 15 days. Are they participating or are they present and all? So generally when we start with something, it's the first 15-20 days where it's just the Josh that's doing the work. Okay, so maybe when you feel ki 15 दिन हो गए and this person is like really into it and all, and whatever are your आगे का formalities, and उसके बाद 25वें दिन the person is not able to gather himself up, तब क्या?
Definitely, I totally agree with you. I'm facing that problem on a day-to-day basis. If you have suggestions to, to maybe come up with a better way to ensure consistency in people, you could let me know. I would be the happiest person. But at the same time, धीरे धीरे. So we understand. वो first 15 days in my head right now is the basic. मतलब एक बंदे को इतना criteria करना ही पड़ेगा so that we know that okay, he's putting in effort from his or her side. That is, and after that, even I am not perfect. Sometimes I have difficulties waking up in the morning and attending a session, right? And there are people in the community who help me do it. None of us are perfect. We are all of us are ups and downs. So when there is a community and people you can, look up to, or people you can think about that they always have your back, they will give you a wake-up call to wake you up, or they will be your accountability partners. That is how it develops. So when your surrounding is filled with people who are doing a particular desired behavior, you automatically start modeling them consciously, unconsciously, and you start doing the desired behavior. But what you said is definitely correct. I've seen people who've become inconsistent and then they are not a part of the community anymore.
So don't you think anything that needs to be modeled or that needs to be put into somebody needs some time? No, for human nature, for somebody who has never woken at 6 a.m., usko suddenly 15 din is not enough. Maybe solve then he'll get back to his 8 a.m. wala thing.
It took me 3 months.
Yeah. So
it took me 3 months. What helped after that was accountability. Right? I was accountable to people, and we do small things. We do, for example, we do a wake up streak. So every day I'm waking up at 6 a.m. First day I write good morning 1. Second day I write good morning 2. On the 10th day I'm writing good morning 10. But if on the 11th day I am, again sleeping off, so my streak starts from good morning 1 again. And these are things that Snapchat uses to, habit formation ke liye, sticky banane ke liye. We have kind of learned a few things. We are always learning and, incorporating a few things. Our goal is simple: to help our community members reach their desired behavior, right? Help them. And we are trying every way possible to reach there. One of my intentions, of presenting the 6 a.m. club is to get insights from our NLP community as to how I can help the members in a better way.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe we don't have time for that during the session, but maybe we can talk about it later in the WhatsApp group and you guys can give me ideas. Now, I think Riya should take over for the NLP, for the modeling practice that we are going to do.
But before that, that's a question for you, Aditya, from Swati Chemburkar. You may want to answer that.
Sure. What belief did you change to help you wake up early? I'll be very honest. How did I start waking up early? A friend called me and he told that I need help to exercise. I'm in a very bad emotional state. I feel working out will help me feel better. He was in Singapore and he wanted to work out before his office hours. That for me was 5 a.m. in the morning. I was somebody who was waking up at 11 a.m. every single day till 5th of July. And I gave him my word that I will help you. And from the next day, I just, woke up 1 minute after 1 minute before like 6 a.m., helped him work out. This went on for the first day. Second day, I had accountability partner. वो आया था, I like him. He's a great guy. I want to help him. So second day I show up. Third day I show up. On the fifth day, from 5th of July, 11th of July, the 6 a.m. club was formed. 11th of July was 6 a.m. club's first workout. There were 7 people whom I was accountable to, whom I had to show up for. I had taken the responsibility. What belief changed? What belief changed? And now I'm thinking about it consciously. I think I just did it, and I just woke up and I thought, हाँ मैं कर सकता हूँ. That changed.
So if I take that Aditya and attempt to answer that. See, there are whether belief change or not change actually doesn't matter. Okay. And if you go by NLP, you have a belief change process. There's a very detailed process to change belief. So if you want to change an outcome, or if you want to improve, then you have to change something outside. And if you go by the NLP, the process, okay, there is a trigger, and the trigger can be external, internal. Then there is a program that runs, okay, and that program is thinking, feeling, values, beliefs, intent, etc. And then because of the program, there is an action or a reaction. If you want to change action, there are 2 ways. Okay, you go and change your program, which the belief change exercise in NLP does. You change the belief and you eventually change an action. Or there are 2 other elements. Or the other way is you start changing the action, or you start changing the trigger, and that will change your program. What is happening here, if you see, is there is a trigger, internal trigger, which got changed. There is somebody who is seeking help, and probably Aditya's sense of providing service is high. So there is an internal trigger which makes him go and change the action, even though he doesn't like doing it. Even his belief is waking up doesn't make sense. But because there is a trigger, he's going and changing action. And as he continues to change action repeatedly, something inside has changed. Now that you call that belief, you call that whatever it is, that is all finally language. So either you work on the belief and change the action, or you just change the action because some trigger changes or something changes, and eventually your belief will start sorting out. Okay. What does it matter? As long as you are able to get the action change. I hope that gives you some insights.
So, Priyas, with interest of time, can we go ahead with the exercise?
Okay. So, what we'll do is we'll close with a simple exercise on modeling. Okay, which you can do it yourself also. The idea was to give you a partner to practice it, but yeah, we want to close at 7:15, so 5:15. So you'll probably leave the exercise to yourself. So before we start this, okay, and to give you again, since NLP is all modeling and structure, let's give you a model and a structure to do that. What I would request is if you can identify one thing, one behavior that you want to change. What is the one thing that you want to improve? And who is that one model for that behavior? See, again, as somebody said, you have to take that behavior of the model, not everything of the model. Everything may not apply, and everything may not even be needed. Only the behaviors and beliefs around that behavior that you want to change is important. That is what you want to model. So think of the behavior, and then think of a model for that behavior. And once you have done that, then let's start. Fine? Is that clear? Okay. So once you have got that either written down or in your mind, that's fine. Keep your specs away, etc. Close your eyes and just follow what I'm trying to do. Okay, just follow the instructions. So with your eyes closed now, see your model in front of your eyes, inside your mind's eye. See your model very clearly. What is she or he wearing? What is the dress? What is the light in the room? What are the surroundings? What is the environment? How is the hair? What is the look on their face? What the dress? See that very clear in as explicit detail as you can. And now start seeing your model living the behavior that you want to model. Start seeing your model living the behavior that you want to model. And see what is changing for them. See what is moving. See how they are moving. Which is the muscle that is getting exercised. And now, as if there's a microscope attached, zoom in onto that behavior and onto that action that you see them doing. If they are writing, see what they are writing and how they are writing. And how is the pen moving on the paper or the hand moving on the keyboard at the time? See in minute microscopic detail that activity, that behavior, that action that you want to model. If it is calmness, see how their face looks in that calmness. See how that forehead is. See how their eyes are. And make that picture bigger and brighter for you. And try to smell, if you can smell. If it's about exercise, try to feel the sweat and see it very clearly, the sweat that is forming, the smell that is coming out. And now breathe that atmosphere inside. And see how you feel in your body. And now come into your body and see how you feel with the model doing what he or she is doing. How do you feel inside when you think about that? And now activate those same muscles that your model is activating. Do the same actions in your mind's eye that the model is doing, and feel as your neurology changes. Feel as your body is shifting now in the same way as your model is behaving. And see what is happening. See if any sweat is forming. See what are the sensations that you feel inside. See how you smell now and see what is happening on your face as you're trying to imitate exactly the same thing that your model is doing. Without judgment, without evaluating results, it is just about imitating what exactly your model is doing now inside your body. And see as those connections shifts, as those new neural connections are made, as you continue moving, even if it doesn't make sense, even if there is a feeling of strangeness, it doesn't matter. See yourself inside you doing the same thing and see how as you continue doing it, you're finding a rhythm. You're finding a rhythm, and see if it matches the ecology of yourself. See if it fits in with your ecology, and see it slowly becoming a part of you. And see how you feel as you go through this process and this action. And let the model fade away slowly, and see your picture emerging bigger and larger. Your picture doing what you have so far seen your model do, but has now become your default action. Now has become your way of moving, your way of feeling. And as you get comfortable with it, see yourself finishing that activity and bringing it to an end, to a close. And as you unwind from that activity, see how you feel about it. What are the sensations that you are having? What is the feeling or the emotion that is coming to you as you keep that towel away, as you put that last full stop, as you take that cup of tea, as you fall back in that chair, as you do whatever you are doing? See how does it feel now to have it inside you, and see the people around you, if they are any, what they are doing, and see what they are telling you now as you have demonstrated that behavior, and see yourself living the outcome of this behavior. See the smile on your face, the dress that you are wearing, how it sticks to you or how it flows to you. And as you relax with this realization, whenever you are ready, you can step out and open your eyes. Anybody has anything to share? Any quick sharing?
I just have a question to ask.
Sure, please. Or a question, yeah, or a question. Please go.
While we were following instruction, like I was following your instruction, I felt like I was embedding all those qualities. So was it an exercise for embedding as well? Modeling and embedding, are they similar?
Similar, but I would be a little cautious when embedding, because there's also one step, and since we are all NLP students, also when you embed something, it's very important to check the ecology when you embed. If you feel comfortable in your ecology, and that's one thing about modeling, which is the third step, is you have to practice it and see are you able to get the outcomes that you expect? Because there are certain outcomes. When you want to change, you have certain outcomes in mind. So you need to be sure that when I embed that behavior of my model and I put that into action, it comes into action. Am I getting the results that I was looking for? And does it go with my ecology? But yeah, if you deep, it can, as you practice, that is how your conscious and subconscious will get programmed. Okay, because it's creating that pattern, and the pattern will get embedded only after practice. So while you may feel embedding now, probably I feel the embedding may happen when you put into practice.
And one experience that I got,
sure,
while I was following your instruction, verbal instruction, was I was feeling I was looking up to my model, like something was expanding in myself. Like, typically what Anil says is like constriction and, expansion. So
okay.
what I felt was like I was expanding. It was giving a kind of feeling that it was liberating kind of feeling that yes, I can do that. It
I would
was
trust the
a
body.
nice feeling that I was experiencing. Sorry?
I would trust the body. I would trust the body. If the body gives me a nice feeling, if the body gives me a feeling of expansion, then I would trust the body that it's probably in ecology. That is my ecology test, honestly. Okay. That is my ecology test. Before
and
we
one
close,
thing I learned about
sure, please. I'm just mindful of
just
time
last
here.
question.
Yeah, sure.
Last question. Yeah. One thing I felt was about myself. It revealed to me that I'm only lazy. If I really want to model, modeling is very nice. If I want to follow something, I can do it. It's only my laziness that is stopping me from from being confident. So I realized that I got the clarity about myself. That's only my laziness, which is an obstacle from achieving whatever the desired outcome I want. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kalpana. My only last that is that convert that and use your language reframing to convert that into something more empowering. Laziness is disempowering. Try to find the empowering part of it and use that. Thank you so much. What we were doing here is, since we are all NLP students, we were using visualization, a little bit of dissociation and submodalities, and we were trying to invoke various submodalities, the VAKOG, to ensure that that helps in embedding. That was what the theory part of it. With that, I will hand you back to Sweetie for the closure.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.